Live, the Prime Minister delivering a virtual address to the Lowy Institute.
People of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I also want to pay tribute to any serving members of our Defence Forces or veterans who may be joining us today and thank them for their tremendous service to our country. As we meet today, though, and with heartbreaking familiarity, images of catastrophic loss due to flooding have again gripped our nation in Queensland and New South Wales. Sadly, 16 people have so far been lost, and our deepest condolences go out to their families and their loved ones. I want to thank all those engaged in the painstaking work of rescue and recovery, from our brave emergency service workers and our SES volunteers through to the men and women of our ADF. There are some 2,000 Defence Force personnel right now currently deployed across the flood-affected areas under Operation Flood Assist 2022, led by Brigadier Mick Garraway, and directly tasked by state governments in New South Wales and Queensland to support their flood response. This number will increase to some 5,000 over the next few days, and as we move into the clean-up and rebuilding phase. ADF assistance includes airdrops of food and supplies into isolated communities and helping clear roads to restore essential services like power and the internet. More than 100 people have been directly rescued by the ADF since this terrible disaster began, and these rescues continue in the many areas still cut off, working with the SES and other local authorities. In addition, as of this morning, some $193 million has already been paid in disaster payments by the federal government through Services Australia in just 5 days to 163,000 individuals impacted by these floods. Primary producers can also register for recovery grants of up to $75,000 and small businesses for up to $50,000 with the New South Wales and Queensland state governments as part of a $1 billion program which is jointly funded 50-50 by the federal government, which has also included $1 million in direct payments to local governments each in the affected areas. But we know more support will be required, and that is especially the case in Lismore and northern New South Wales and surrounding districts, where the flood levels are reported to have peaked above all known records, and several metres at that. In Lismore, this is not just a flood event. It is a catastrophic natural disaster. We are currently bringing together a further package of support, and I look forward to being able to visit the impacted areas later this week after my current COVID isolation is completed to assess that situation firsthand as we prepare our further response. But most of all today, to the thousands of Australians who have just reached out and helped their neighbour during these terrible floods, thank you. Your quiet acts of care and compassion and bravery have once again humbled our nation. I thank you. But beyond our shores, as you were saying, Michael, we face many other threats.